Honestly, there is nothing romantic about the moment you realize you've been played. We all love the thrill of a detective story, but in real life, the sudden tilt of a lie hits you like a wet towel. It's not mysterious, it's just deflating. And the frustrating part? Evolution actually hardwired us to be terrible lie detectors. You see, our brains are fueled by empathy radar, a biological mechanism designed to build trust and forge social bonds, not to dissect reality. This is exactly what smooth talkers weaponize. When someone projects confidence and charm, they use it as an emotional shield, making you feel safe rather than suspicious. It's like walking into a trap thinking you found a warm hug because you can feel the emotional vibrations. We naturally want to believe them, and their deception sails right past the filters we rely on. We are too busy falling for their story to be sitting in the judgment seat. But if we keep trusting blindly based on vibes, we're just handing over our peace of mind. Before you let another person download their reality into your head, let's learn how to wake up to the truth. Think of lying like running from a predator that doesn't actually exist. It isn't just a clever trick of the mind. It's a physiological earthquake that rips through your entire body the second you fabricate a story. When your brain detects that high-stakes deceit, the amygdala triggers an ancient alarm system, flooding your system with cortisol and adrenaline, exactly as if you were facing a mountain lion. This hyper-arousal forces a fight-or-flight response that ignores social niceties entirely. You will see people freeze in place or tremble violently, battling a throat that closes up or hands that fidget uncontrollably because the panic is too loud to mask. These aren't habits. They are involuntary screams for safety, leaving biological scars all over their expressions and gestures that their conscious mind tries desperately to hide. Imagine trying to dance to two different songs at the exact same tempo. It's clumsy, awkward, and impossible to hide. That's the biological reality of what psychologists call leakage. When you forcefully tell a lie, your body is often forced to rehearse the truth of the emotion behind it, creating a conflict that cannot be sustained without a leak. Action speaks a fraction of a second before words do. Think of a reassurance scenario, maybe a partner checking their phone or a boss giving feedback while smiling. They nod smoothly, but zoom in on their eyes. There is a microscopic micro-expression, usually lasting just 0.06 of a second, the flash of irritation, the narrowed brows, that betrays the reassuring statement before you even realize it's there. That split-second leak is your subconscious guarding itself, screaming the real truth before your conscious words ever land. It's like trying to tape over a broken window with high-quality plastic. Eventually, the light coming through shines brighter than the tape itself. But be careful, because sometimes the biggest red flag isn't hiding in the silence. It's in the noise. When liars try too hard to be convincing, we call it masking, and it is the oldest trick in the book. Imagine someone who is usually reserved, suddenly piercing your gaze with unnatural intensity, wearing a smile that looks wooden and doesn't reach their eyes. It's stiff, it's awkward, and your gut screams fake. Psychologically, lying drains cognitive energy, yet these offenders overcompensate, thinking that looking eager or adding excessive detail will prove their innocence. It's like watching a bad vacuum salesman desperate to close a deal. A confident liar blends in effortlessly, but a lying one performs a broken script with rigid perfection. Don't let that empty smile fool you. There's much more to uncover. Picture a suspect staring you dead in the eye, lying through their teeth while you instinctively lower yours. This popular myth that liars always look away to hide the truth is a huge trap. In reality, the best deceivers use intense eye contact to monopolize your trust because they know it's the easiest way to manipulate you. That rigid gaze eventually fractures under the pressure of the fabrication. Look for the upper dosing zone. It's that specific high-up glare. That jagged upward look isn't accidental. It's a calibrated defensive maneuver. Their R's aren't looking away to escape guilt. They are darting upwards to process a complex lie while simultaneously monitoring your micro-expressions. This is starkly different from a casual glance to check up a phone. Avoidant staring is tight and scrutinizing, unlike the relaxed focus of a thought. You aren't seeing someone hiding the truth. You are seeing someone watching for when the mask might slip. That is your green light. Now we dive deep into clue number 4, and here is the psychological paradox. While the mouth is designed to speak the lie, the hands are often the ones trying to shut it down. You need to spot the sudden gesture of covering the mouth, usually a delicate touch to the lips or a subtle swipe across the nose. Psychologically, this is a rapid, subconscious reflex the brain triggers to act as a premeditated silencer. It anticipates the social discomfort of a falsehood about to exit, so it resolves to physically seal those lips like a gatekeeper trying to stop a runaway train. It's a frantic, fragile attempt to silence the narrative before the details can reveal the full picture. In that split second when their hand goes up to block the truth, they aren't just calming nerves, they are desperate to keep the deception contained. But cover all you want, because the eyes aren't the only feature giving them away next. Clue number 5 is subtle, but powerful. The ear and nose twitch. Think about how your body reacts when you're drowning in anxiety. That sudden urge to touch your face, that's your brain's survival instinct, and it is absolutely universal. Modern psychology reveals that when someone feels the crushing weight of a lie, they instinctively seek comfort. A light touch to the ear or a slow stroke of the nose acts as a self-soothing mechanism, essentially releasing calming hormones to reset their internal temperature. It's like a digital pacifier for the stressed mind. We're not talking about a violent eye rub here. These are fleeting, gentle touches, a graze, a flick, or a nervous pat on the neck. It signals that their reality is slipping, and they are physically begging for a moment of respite. If you see someone stroking their nose while denying something, don't just look at the nose, look at the desperation. That tiny touch is the barrier breaking down, revealing a liar trying desperately to calm their nerves. Ever catch a liar playing with their straw or gripping a pen like it's a lifeline? This is displacement in action, and it's a powerful psychological shield. When someone lies, a massive chasm opens up between who they are and what they're saying, creating a visceral amount of subconscious pressure. To manage that anxiety, they instinctively reach for displacement objects, like a coffee mug or a pen, to literally create physical space around themselves. It turns a verbal subject into a physical barrier. You'll see them stroke their own arm or tap an object rhythmically, effectively building a fence between their uneasy soul and their dishonest words. It's their brain's desperate attempt to keep their moral compass at arm's length. So now that you know what to look for, watch closely for the next clue. You know the concept of the homebody? It's an ancient survival instinct where your feet unconsciously default towards safety, usually a door or a route to exit, long before your conscious brain even processes a plan. It is primal and impossible to fake. Here is where it gets terrifyingly deceptive. You can have a perfectly engaged conversation. Maybe your torso is turned 90 degrees to show intense interest. Your voice is calm, but if those shoes are zigzagging toward a wall or rigidly pointed straight at the exit, a liar is screaming for help. They simply cannot vocalize. Imagine a high-stakes negotiation where the air is thick with denial. The liar tries to maintain piercing eye contact and slash their palms at the table for sincerity, but their feet are restless. This dead man's turn reveals a subconscious panic. They physically want to leave the environment, signaling a desperate need to evade the truth. It is like a combustion engine warming up without a car to drive. Now that you're spotting the feet, let's look at how you can break that stare. Look, let's stop acting like amateur detectives who scream liar the second they see a hand cover a mouth. Relying on a single non-verbal cue is a guaranteed way to get it wrong. Behavior doesn't happen in isolation. It's messy, complex, and usually happens in threes. To truly understand what's going on inside someone's head, you've got to triangulate. You need to mash together the tension affecting the mouth with the instability of the eyes and the subconscious pivot of the feet. It is the difference between looking at one shattered piece of glass versus analyzing the full, terrifying mosaic of a crash. Real body language is about weaving these elements into a psychological profile, not just snapping a quick photo of one part. So let's stop jumping to conclusions and start reading the full picture, starting with the eyes. You know that gut-pick feeling during a tricky negotiation? It's not just intuition. It's your subconscious catching the subtle mismatch between a sharp, rapid-fire hand gesture and a tight, closed posture. Brain scans confirm that leakage. Those fleeting micro-expressions that flicker on for less than a second are very real, but becoming fluent in this code is like walking a tightrope. You need to balance sharp observation with total empathy. Think of this power like holding a pair of high-tech X-ray glasses. Sure, you can spot the cracks in an alibi or the anxiety hiding behind a rehearsed smile, but you must wield this tool responsibly. Don't turn every awkward silence into a forensic crime scene. That kind of suspicion will burn you out faster than a double espresso. Instead, view these 7 cues as your personal shield against manipulation, while keeping judgment as your guiding light. When you finally learn to read the room, the volatile becomes predictable, and the confusing becomes clear. Go out there, observe without guessing, and keep your own secrets safe.